Yeah,
Sounds good.
this is gonna be new niggas on they fucking a breakfast club.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
The niggas know each other the whole time. Like,
All right. Asking questions and niggas damn well know they answer to it. So tell me, where are you
right.
from?
Actually, I think I'm about to make it less awkward. I'll be like, man, I already know all this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be like, bro, I already know all of this. Actually, that's how we gonna start. We gonna start right now. Like, bro, it's R&D interview. Vango Jones. I already know this man. This is my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Boy.
We were just laughing about it. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about how we already I already know probably half the answers to these questions I'm about to ask, but we about to run this shit up, man. Like, we on the fly with it. This is for, you know, for anybody that doesn't know, this is for the September R&D residency with Vango Jones for the exhibition titled I Hope This Lifts You Up. So I'm gonna start first with, you know, who are you, what's your name, and where did the name originate?
Cool. Vango Jones. I am I consider myself a multi-hyphenate creative, originally from St. Louis, currently living in Brooklyn. My area or my field of interest as far as my creative endeavors are mostly in like set design and prop styling, but also I've like had extensive work in filmmaking and writing, delving into music a little bit. So honestly, like wherever creatively inclined to like tap into, that's what I'm doing. Like I try not to like limit myself to one discipline. Um, as far as the name Vango Jones, my government is Tyler Scott. So at one point in time, like when my creative endeavors, like I went by the name Ty Scott, but I think like as an artist, like trying to create your own path and like really taking your artistry seriously. Like people like will associate my name with so many other people. Like I went to school for film. I went to Howard. Well, me and El both went to Howard. I went for film. So you know, my name being Tyler, being in film, I was getting people calling me Tyler Perry. You know. And the first two times it was funny, you know. The third and fourth time I would chuckle, but like after a while it became annoying in a sense. Like you know you a beginning filmmaker and like before you even like really make a name for yourself, like people calling you Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
So then like I started like bouncing out and like doing things beyond just film and just like creating in general. And then, you know, Tyler the Creator came on the scene, and then that was the next name. It's like you Tyler the Creator. So, you know, anything I created, like they're like, oh, you Tyler the Creator. First two times I chuckled, I laughed or whatever, but like eventually it became annoying just as you continue to try to like create your own path. Mm-hmm. Then I got locks. Ty Dolla I go by Ty. That's my nickname as well. So then the Ty Dolla Sign thing, you know, came around and just like, you know, whenever I create something, people never say like Ty Scott, you know, whenever they're saying Ty Dolla Sign or Tyler the Creator, Tyler Perry. So I want to just like create like a first and last name that was my own, that like people couldn't really associate with anybody else. Yeah. So it's like it's a creative moniker, but like, you know, I feel like sometimes I'm like passive with it, but like I mean sometimes in the past I've been passive with it, but like these days like I'm very serious as far as like when my creative works. Like if I work with you, please don't put Tyler Scott, please don't put Ty Scott on the credits. Like it's a creative moniker that's like as I continue to try to like make a career as a creative, like I want to be known as Vango Jones. And how I got to that name, like I said before, I wanted it to be like a first and a last name. And Vincent Van Gogh was like one of the first artists that I learned about in elementary school. really took a liking to his story, just how he tapped into like a lot of different things before he got sold on art. So like just like I was as a kid, I was like I did some things with sports. I did like student council, like a whole bunch of different interests that like I would tap into for a year and then decide like no, I'm not doing it no more. But like art was always present. So I just really took a liking to Vincent Van Gogh, and for me, he kind of represents art. And then for Jones, like I'm a '90s kid, and Jones was like a really popular word in the '90s to like kind of represent the love of something. So like Love Jones, Basketball Jones, also like it's like a song on D'Angelo's one of D'Angelo's albums called Jones in My Bones. But Jones in the '90s was like a name for the love of something. So for me, Vango Jones translates as for the love of art, and I feel like nothing could be more fitting for me because like that's what I do it all for.
That's fire. Like as you were talking about that, that made me think about like I don't off the top of my head, I don't know anybody that in the art world that's not like say like it's normal for like a rapper like to have like another name. You know what I'm saying? Like like I started thinking like a Jay-Z, like oh. You know what I'm saying? Like you call him Jay-Z, like you wouldn't say like Sean Carter on the front of the album or whatever, or like, oh, Sean Carter's coming to the VMAs. It's like, nah, Jay-Z is coming. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's always weird, like when people are just starting off, because like once Jay-Z got to the heights that he's at, like nobody looks at him like, oh, it's weird that you changed your name on all your creative projects, like because that's when he became publicly known or a notable figure, then that's the name that he had. But like I'm sure initially when he was in Marcy calling himself Jay-Z, he was like, nigga, you Sean. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just like it's a certain point where you are you have your family, your friends, your community that know you as a certain name, and then you go to a different space with your creative career and go by a new name. But there's so many people in the industry that like have changed their name that people don't even really know, like Whoopi Goldberg, Jim Carrey, Jamie Foxx, Travis Scott, Frank Ocean.
The list is endless. Jamie Foxx.
The list is endless. Like it's such a normal thing. It's only weird when people are just starting off.
That's a whole thing too, bro. Like me and my sister, we talk about that. Like we talk about how when people are like close to you, like what I'm saying, like they wouldn't feel like it's like a reason to come at you a certain way or not respect the fact that you changed your name because they don't know you. Like they'll show more love, or because like somebody grew up with you, or they knew you, or they was like a family member. They'd be like, "Oh man, that's just top." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I think that's dope. You know what I'm saying? I think that that people need to know that, and that just makes me think that in terms of like your growth and how things are going, because even now when we talk, like I was just texting somebody about the exhibition like today, and I was just like, I just knew off rip to be like, yo, my boy Vango, like, you know what I'm saying, we got this thing going. But I also know you in my mind as Todd, like it's like an interesting factor. But yeah, man, and like the next thing I wanted to get into is like I know that we've been talking about this for like actually not that long. Now that I think about it, like it might be like
we July. I think July is like in
like less than like 2 months ago, like,
and it really was the end of July, like because remember at first we was like, yeah, let's go in September. I mean, we were like let's go in August. We were like let's go in August. And we came back a week later. We was like, no, let's take our time with it. But yeah, it's really been like something that we really have pushed out quick.
Yeah,
quick. And you gonna say?
I was gonna say that for anybody that doesn't know, like the residency, like the whole purpose behind it is just to kind of like give people that that I feel like should have a voice in the platform, and that's what like art is supposed to be used for, like as a platform for other people. So I know that I was coming from the space of, yo, this is my brother, you know what I'm saying? I know that like we've always been like best friends and everything, but like we've worked on like a couple projects together, and I was like, yo, let's just do something. And it was on, for me, it was on the fly. Like it was like, yo, we should just work. And like I was wondering, like from your perspective, like what is like the exhibition like mean to you, and like what, like, so you pretty much like carried you did the heavy lifting on like naming it and like concepting that, and I really want people to know that part, because you really like what I'm saying, formulated that side of the piece.
Yeah. I mean, I think as far as like the piece itself, it's been just because of I think the concept behind it. Like I initially had a mix a few years ago that I did with my friends Sade and Erica. Where the same thing, I kind of like curated some positive, uplifting music, and they with their expertise in like DJing and things of that sort, like they help me put it together. And since then, like I've wanted to do like another like iteration of that previous project, which was called Vango's Very Good Vibrations. And man, like everything that's going on, presently, like if it's not the attack on Black bodies, then it's the pandemic. If it's not the pandemic, it's not the presidency. It's us losing our Black heroes. It's so much going on this year. Like people's finances is like this. Like in previous years, people be like, damn, 2017, like what's going on this year? 2019, what's going on this year? But I feel like we all can agree, like this shit right here,
2020
it's different. This shit is different. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like more than ever, this is like the perfect time to create another one. So when you presented the idea of like, us coming together with the residency, I already knew, like, I knew exactly where I was going with it. It's really just been like a labor of love, like, working with my homie on this, and like having the space where there is the pandemic. So, for the last like I'll say it's been like maybe 6 weeks that we've been working on it. For the last 6 weeks, like we've had time to like tap in with each other, weekly meetings to try to like, see where we're going with it, bounce ideas back and forth. And like, we in two different places right now, but still, using technology, like
right,
to bounce ideas back and forth, and like just really move a project forward in two different locations. Like, it's been a labor of love.
Yeah, man. Like you touched on something like important, because there has been a lot of attack, like like on Black bodies and Black males, Black females, Black, just Black in general. And it's like we've seen like this surge of Black awareness, but at the same time, I don't know, to me, from my perspective, it seems like there's more of an attack. Like it's almost, I don't even want to say if it's heightened, but it's more it's more visible. Like it's been much more visible to the average American in the average American home. And this is something that we grew up with, right? Like you and I both know like what it is to like be a Black male like in America, and what that comes with, and like how to move in that space, and like the pros and cons of that. But I know this is gonna be kind of like a heavier question, but I really want to like know like your perspective on like why do you think that Black life is constantly in danger?
Yeah, that's definitely a heavy one. I feel like there's a multitude of reasons. I feel like for one, Black people have been like for centuries at this point, like so resilient. Like, it's like, okay, we're gonna put them in slavery, and like we're gonna take them out that way. They still able to push through. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go through the Jim Crow, the lynching era.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they still pushing through. Okay, well, we're gonna deny them their civil rights. damn, they still pushing through. Like, you know, we not gonna allow them to vote. They still pushing through. Like, it's almost like whatever Black people are up against. Like, while there are tragedies, there are, you know, martyrs in each in each like chapter of, you know, being Black in America, is always able to somehow push through. So I feel like that resilience is definitely something that people feel a need to kind of like undermine, or like a reason to attack us. But also with that, you know, it's been proven, just like with like Black women, childbirth, that like people think that because of our resilience that we have like more we're more prone to like pain. You know, we can stomach pain more than anybody else, and it's like, it's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true at all. Like, we flesh and blood just like everybody else. As resilient as we are, like our temple, our body is like still flesh and blood, just like everybody else. So, you know, I do feel like people a lot of times, like they don't really think about the pain, you know, thinking about the violence that they're inflicting on our bodies, because it's our bodies. They think that, you know, we will bounce back, and it's like, no. Like, if you sit on somebody's neck for 8 minutes, like, you're going to probably end that person's life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, like, lastly, like, I feel like we just like we tapped in with like just like the cool shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? We the post of like everything that's cool, the post of, you know, what becomes um a fad or a trend, or, you know, whatever in America, oftentimes is off the backs of Black people. You know, whether it's like Motown, you know, whether it's disco, whether it's jazz, whether it's rap music. Like, rap music now is like taking up the top 10 of Billboard any week that you like
most popular genre. I think it's official. Like, most popular genre on
pop
earth.
music.
Yeah, it's pop.
Pop music is pop music at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like any, you know, a lot of things that are like looked
and
at
that's the
as
crazy
cool,
thing
like,
about it, bro. Like, I'm sorry to cut you off. Like, that just like touched a nerve, because like I just thought about it. Like, you know, like the VMAs came on last night, but I bet you that
you watch it.
no, I did not watch that.
Right.
Like, I saw I saw Lady Gaga was snapping. You know what I'm saying? She had the fits. She went back, and it was crazy because me and my sister was just talking about like how, like, dang, like, where Lady Gaga at, like, where she been at, man? She need to come crazy, and then she popped out with like 5 straight like runway Met Gala level. But did you watch it?
I watched it, man. Like, call me lame, call me crazy, whatever, bro. Like, I still really like am attracted to award shows. Like, that shit take me back to my childhood, man. Like, there's certain things from my childhood that like really like caught my attention and made me want to like get into the type of work that I do now, like the type of work that I want to eventually get to. Because like, I'm nowhere near where I hope and pray to go. But like, you know, being a kid, watching like 106 in Park, or watching MTV in the video, or like Access Granted, or like, you know, the Grammys or the BET Awards or the VMAs, like that shit is like, it's pop culture. Like, you know, pop culture. Yeah. I'm a huge enthusiast of like pop culture. So, you know, even though award shows are definitely like falling off, like it's still something about it that still like attracts me. But that shit was trash last night. It was not. Hey, if we're really being honest, like,
let's go. You know I'm with
it. It was trash. If we're really being honest, like, and, you know, producers for award shows, they were up against a lot this year. Being that, like, you know, you couldn't have like physical audiences, or like, you know, your traditional award shows. But like, if we being honest, I don't know if you saw the BET Awards this year, but like, if we being honest, like, the BET Awards virtually versus the VMAs virtually, like, put them niggas to shame. Like it was night and day. Like that
For
shit was
real?
not good. It wasn't good, bro. Like they had a couple. They had a couple highlights like
And that's the VMAs, bro. Because like the VMAs was like high level, like you stayed up late. Like I remember, like that was like, yo, I know I got school in the morning. I might stay up to watch the VMAs. Like even like, bro, just even like how they redid the Moon Man like every year. They always had like I'm still tripping off the calls like Moon Man collab like that.
Yeah. But yeah, award shows like award shows in general are very expensive, but the money that is allocated for the VMAs versus the BET Awards is like, I understand we in the pandemic, we virtually did. Y'all did that.
Yeah. So did they have like an audience? Like I know that like people weren't physically there, but they did like some NBA type vibe, like where.
Yeah, they had like a bubble type. They had like the same kind of like fan integration like the NBA has right now, but something about like the design of it just wasn't hidden. Like they had like the stage and they had the presenters or the performers on the stage, but like behind them was like this virtual world of like New York. So they had like these buildings that were like 3D renderings of buildings, and like in the windows of the buildings would be fans or whatever. But it wasn't hidden. It wasn't hidden. And it just wasn't hidden. Like, but it's a new space that we in. But man, between the two, like I definitely give kudos to BET and how they like handled that challenge during this time versus the VMA. So
where you think it's gonna go though? Like I'm trying to figure out like. Because award shows it was already looking quiet for award shows, like in general, like before this happened.
They going down. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still a fan. Like I still be tapping in, but they going down. But what you say?
Yeah, like I'm just wondering, like just in general, because I'm like, bro, fam, like I saw this article
from here.
Yeah, like this is gonna be off topic, but like I was reading this one article, I think on Fast Company, and they was talking about how pretty much like everything that's going on sped us up into like 2023. I don't know if I talked to you about it already, but like the arenas, like for like NBA teams and football teams, they were already like looking into how they can have people basically not have to wait in line when they go like get their food or when they go to like the merch stand or something like that. But now instead of it being just like just a cool feature just to save you time, it's like it's mandatory pretty much if they want to like
it's like protocol. Like,
it's like now that's like the minimum. Like it's not even like you flexing. It's like nah, like if you don't have that, I'm not coming. So I'm just wondering like, bro, that's just like the age. Like that's just like the question of the year. Like yo, bro, like people gonna be still moving around, but it's like how are we gonna interact like in 5 years? Like I feel like people gonna still be like kind of traumatized. Like
I feel like masks are not going nowhere anytime soon. But I don't know if at least for the next like year and a half, 2 years, bro. I feel like that's just common. Like you wear a mask in public, because like so many conversations that I've had, like everybody is talking about like the vaccine when it's coming, but like so many conversations that I have had, like especially with Black people, when the vaccine drop, we're not touching it. We're not touching it.
Yo, it's cool. Like, yo, we tired of being guinea pigs, bro. We not.
Like, we're not touching it. Like for me, I need a good 6 months before I, what the effects are. Like, what are the side effects to the vaccine? So with that being the case, like the vaccine is not even here yet. But even when it comes, there's such a distrust that like people are saying like, oh yeah, 4 to 6 months after the vaccine is dropping, like I still need time. So I feel like that's one thing for sure that I feel like it's gonna stick around for a minute is like mask in public. Yeah. Also, I feel like the days of like festivals, like we went to Panorama. I mean, we probably went to a few festivals together, but we went to Panorama You know, what's that, 2017?
That was
And like
2017.
Frank, and so
Man,
like Frank,
that was serious.
Solange,
Yeah,
Sister of the Year. Am I tripping?
I think it
I can't
is.
remember.
Yeah, I think it was
I, th-
2017,
I
2018 at the
know.
latest.
I know definitely Frank and Solange were there that year, but like, you know, even just like festivals like that, like I feel like it's quiet. I don't see that. I don't see
Yeah,
that space happening again, like at least for a long time. Yeah.
that's gonna hurt my feelings, bro. And I was like, I was spending whatever for the show. Like that was like the only thing
But
that I was like, dang, bro, go to the
I had
show.
a, I had a love I had a love hate relationship with festivals because the lineups were crazy. Like, you know, to see 2017, like to see Solange after Seat at the Table and Frank after Blind the same day, in the same
Yeah,
concert, like crazy. Like that lineup, like telling my kids about it. But at the
yeah,
same time, like by the end of the day, well, for one, it's just like it's so crowded. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you get into space like that, you gotta keep your elbows up to, like, you know, just people start getting close and shit, especially like if someone as the headliners come on, you know what I'm saying? But also like by the end of the day, you want out. You want out, especially if you can get out there early, like 12, and
bro.
then the concert end at like 10, and don't let it be during the summer. So by the end of the day, you are worn out, like feet hurting, you drained from the sun, like. So yeah, I've always had like a love hate relationship with festivals, but the lineups you can't beat.
Yeah, bro. Like that. Yeah, that's actually a perfect segue. You know, with the whole music vibe, because that's like the underlying like theme for the exhibition too. Like, you know, having the music like, you know, lift people up. So I was also wondering, like, you know, you had a quote like for the beginning that people will hear by the time this comes out, but you know, you were talking about like music being a powerful force. I just want you to like dive in on that like a little bit more, like what you meant by that.
Yeah. I said music is a very powerful medium,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like in times like this, we need a soundtrack for, you know, where we are and where we want to go. And like that's kind of like the initial idea to like started Vango's very good vibrations, because like, man, I had a rough 2015, like for more reasons than one. I had a rough, you know, 2015, and like I was listening to like all the hot shit that was out at the time, like because the shit sound good, but I think at a certain point, like especially like when you're going through some shit, like if you're going through some shit, like I can't really get into like music about killing niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, or like, you know, it's just like at a certain point, you know, like, yeah, I fuck with that. It's great to hear when I go out, but like on this Tuesday evening while I'm in the crib and I'm going through shit, like I need something to like kind of help push me to like want to wake up Wednesday and go get it, because I'm going through some shit right now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what inspired that project. And like it was just like me just needing like a positive alternative from like all the shit that I was listening to. Because you know how like I'm sure you've heard the quote, like the tongue is powerful. Like
Yeah.
that shit is the tongue is powerful. So like, you know, while some of the music that we listen to like sounds good and everything, like, you know what I'm saying, if you listening to music about some detrimental shit and you're going through um you know you going through some things in your life, like that shit, it plants seeds, you know. So I needed like some alternative. I needed an alternative to like the shit that I was listening to at the time. I needed
Mm-hmm.
something more uplifting. So that's how Vango's Very Good Vibrations was birthed. And you know, I feel like we're in the same situation now. Like, you know, while some of the music that we're listening to sounds good, you know what I'm saying? If you having like a socially distant, very intimate, you know what I'm saying, function with your homies during this time, like that's the music to listen to, whatever, like, you know, whenever you can like turn it on, but like at a certain point, you just gotta like tap in with something that like uplift you, because it's like it's so much shit coming at us right now, so many different angles. Like I said before, like if it's not the attack on black bodies, and it's losing our black superheroes, like, you know, every time you turn around, it's like more bad news. So, and man, I just feel like that music is a powerful medium, and sometimes you just gotta tap in with some shit that like uplifts you and puts you in a positive mind space.
Random side note, that made me think about, do you think that there's enough music like that details the modern black man? And when I say that, okay, reason why I asked that, right? So if you want some, you know what I'm saying, you you grew up like on some street shit or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, you coming up, da 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 da, boom boom, like you have like a soundtrack for that. Like you got like a million artists to listen to for that. But I don't know if there's anybody that's like rap from like, oh yeah, I left high school, I went to college, you know what I'm saying, I'm in I'm in like corporate America, but I'm trying to make this happen, but I got like my dreams to do this on the side. Like I don't know if anybody's actually like wrote that album out or like had it like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just wondering, like, do you feel like there's anybody that speaks to that experience, or there's enough artists?
I mean, I feel like there's people out there. I can't really think of anybody like this right here in this moment off the top of my head, but I feel like there is people like that. What I will say is, like, I don't think that there's very many people like that in the mainstream sense, or like that's on Billboard right now. Like I feel like as far as Billboard, like what we're given is kind of like monolithic. You know what I'm saying? It's like one choice. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like another thing that's so cool about like social media, as far as whether it's Instagram or like TikTok or like SoundCloud, is that like people can really be a whole ass like famous musicians or whatever, and just not, and have 1 million followers or whatever, or have 300,000, have a strong following, like have a core fan base that like appeals to like that type of person's lifestyle that you're mentioning. But they don't necessarily have to be on Billboard, or they don't necessarily have to be on radio. So yeah, I definitely feel like right now, like I'm drawing a blank. I can't think of anybody like that right now, but I feel like there's people out there just not on a mainstream, not on the mainstream level. Like, yeah, but the good thing about like the way the internet and social media and shit is, like, you can have that following, you can have that core fan base that like goes with your brand ethos, and
right.
not be on the radio at the same time.
Right.
But like, honestly, like when I think about it, like the people whose music that I'm like really fucking with the most, it's not nobody on Billboard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even like right now, this very moment, like I would say also, like in the last few years, like I'm listening to way more R&B than I am rap. Like I say, like in the last like year and a half, 2 years, like R&B being kind of like more so like alternative R&B, but like alternative R&B ain't been snapping. Like it's a lot out. But yeah, like the people that I'm thinking about, that's like some of my favorite projects so far this year. And also like in the last like few years, like I've come my AirPods about to die. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
But this one just died. But I've become like way more comfortable with saying like, yo, this is what I fuck with. So like what I enjoy might not be on everybody's year-end list of like their favorite music this year, but like this is what these are my favorite projects. But like, some of my favorite projects are like Brent Fly Eyes, this group Salt, which we have a couple of Salt songs on the album. But you talk about a soundtrack for the time, like the Salt project is like crazy. Who else? Like I really like the Freddie Gibbs. His project this year, like I'm really fucking with that.
He got a song with machine drum, like this random, like I just found it like the other day. I gotta send it to you. Like he got, I just put it on like the last episode. It's like some I can't even describe it to you, but it sounds crazy. But Freddie been snapping. Which brings me to like the next point, like how did you bro, because when I was going through it, I was like, yo, this is like 3 hours, and it's like this 3 hours full of music. Like I usually like because when I when I thought about doing a residency, you know, and I'll be like, you know, hey, you know, just make at least an hour. You know, usually, you know, most people be like, oh, okay, I was gonna do a quick hour, hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? You see it, but like you found 3 hours like worth of like uplifting music. Like, I want you to kind of go and talk about that. Like, how did you like go about selecting those songs? How did you like, you know, how'd you go about selecting those songs? Why they stood out to you? You know, was it pieces that, you know, you just been collecting over time and you just had like building up, or was it just like things you just like drawing from? Yeah.
So I'll preface this response by saying, look, I'll be going crazy in the Apple Notes, the iPhone notes, bro.
Oh yeah.
I'll be going crazy in the iPhone notes, like so many ideas, so many things to revisit and like research. So initially, like there were like a few songs that didn't make the Vango's Very Good Vibrations mix a few years back. So I took those songs, put them in a note, and I was like, I'm gonna do another one day. I just put them in a note, let them sit there, and then like since then, so that project came out in 2016. So since then, from 2016 until now, when we decided to go forward with this project, anytime like I heard a song that like was positive, uplifting, and I feel like, you know, like it really like fit something like a sequel to that project, I was like, oh, let me put it in a note. So yeah, it's like a note that was created over the course of 4 years. Like sometimes I'll be listening to a random album, like a random throwback album, or like I was listening to a movie, it's like an old movie, and like it had a song, or like coming across an old YouTube video, just like in the last 4 years. Whenever I heard like a song that like fit that theme, threw it in the notes. So, you know, as soon as you were like, yeah, let's go, I'm like, okay, here's a list.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, yo, fam.
Yeah, like, hold up. Like, no, I had it ready to go. Ready.
Yeah, like for like just to let everybody know, like, bro, like when I hit him up, it was just like, it was almost like instantaneous. I was like, yo, this was quick. It felt like he was ready for it. I was like, yo, okay, cool, bet. And that just made like my job a lot easier, because all I had to do was like, you know, mix it up. It was like down to like, yo, play this song from this long to this long, this song, this long. Oh, Jada can say some wild shit over here, so you'll like cut it off.
Exactly. But I knew.
Yeah, bro. That's hard. And like, even like, to me, my favorite part of all of that is like how it gets tied together, like with the interludes. And I just want to know, like, one, that's a dope idea, bro. Like I just rock with that, and just like how you went into like early in the conversation talking about like how everybody's like in their own areas, like people on the West Coast, Midwest, you know, in the South, you know, East Coast, New York, Atlanta, whatever the case may be, and it's still able to create like this one cohesive project. So I just want to know, like, you know, what made you choose the people that you chose, and what were you trying to get out of them, like in these quick, like heartfelt notes?
Yeah. So yeah, like I think that's another idea that I've had like for the last few years. I knew that when I did this again, I definitely wanted to incorporate people having like interludes, like with uplifting, positive statements. Whether it's when I reach out to the people, I say like, you know, whether it's a quote, whether it's like, you know, words of wisdom that you got from an elder, whether it's like what you've been doing during these times to like keep yourself lifted, just like any type of like positive soundbite you can give. That's what I want. So yeah, like I knew that I really wanted to do that on this project, and also what made me choose the particular people that I chose. Like for one, I'll be feeling like whenever I'm like working on a project and I want to involve people in it, I'll be feeling like I'm bothering people, man. So I don't like relying on like too many people on the same thing. Like, you know, damn, I reached out to her on the last one. Like, let me choose somebody else on this one. But I also think that that's like, it's good to just like branch out. You know, so like I branched out and like asked people that like I'm cool with, and like not anybody that's like in my close circle. Like, you know, it's so easy to like ask like a close homie to do something, but I kind of wanted to like branch out and just like reach out to new people that I haven't like reached out to collaborate on previous projects. But also another like thing that I took in consideration is like just like people who I know have like a very positive like mindset. Like you know, every time, I mean, every now and then you like see somebody on your timeline that like went through some shit and like posted like some kind of like optimistic like lesson that they learned from it, or like, you know, they like find like a throwback video from like Maya Angelou or something from the '70s, and they post it on their timeline. Just like people who I know have like a positive, something positive or uplifting, just people that are overall like optimistic people. Those are
Right.
like some of the people that I reached out to, and you know, I'm fortunate to like know people like on the West Coast. I know some people in the Midwest. I know people here in the East Coast. So like it really is like a melting pot of like people who are we're all going through this like all across the country, but somehow all of these people that I reached out to still have like different ways to like keep themselves lifted during these times. So and like you said, like that shit is really like the icing on the cake. Like the music is fire, the music is like uplifting, but like, you know, when we're going through like some of the preliminary like drafts of the mix, like when I listen to them, like damn, like, man, like the song that you went into after that, I'm like, damn, that shit hit. Like, you know,
Bro,
the things that the people were saying, and then like the song that they was going to make, I'm like, damn, like they really like shout out to everybody that like, you know, contributed, because like that really, it really is the icing on the cake for the project.
yeah, man, that joint was hard, bro. And like, I even got on, the uplift necklace on right now. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
let's get into it, dog.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Let's
gonna
get
get into
into
the
it.
camera with it one time. You feel me? You know, we got the pearls. You see me? Y'all just wanna and like, for the people too, man. Like, you did a lot of heavy lifting on this portion too. And I just want you to talk about like that, like, style choices, like what the thought process was, you know, yeah, man, just like your perspective on it.
Yeah, so with that, like, you know, we really are treating this like this residency like it's a museum. You know, this is a museum exhibition, and like I know one of the things that you initially said when you, excuse me, brought it to me was like you wanted to give an opportunity to people who, you know, artists or like talent who may not have otherwise have been able to get an opportunity with a formal, you know, museum setting. And like, you know, we always try to go to these big museums, these well-known
Right.
establishments for opportunities, like, you know. And then you see like the shit that like the Whitney did recently. It's just like, man, like this is like
I'm
where
glad.
we really, you know what I'm saying? These are the ones that we really like are chasing for opportunities. And I like the prestige that we've used with this project to like say like it's an exhibition. Like this is like, you know, it's running for a month long. You know, it's hosted on the research and development website. Like that's the prestige that we're going into this project with. And with that, you know, museums have gift shops, and you know, we wanted to create something that like kind of can commemorate the project, commemorate this exhibition, the time that we, you know, created this project together. So, um, and actually, like working on the necklace is kind of like what helped me come to figure out a title, because like initially I was thinking like Vango's Very Good Vibrations 2, Volume
Mm-hmm.
2, but like I know for myself as an artist, like it's difficult, you know, when you are creating stuff because it's your work, it's your career, but like you don't want it to be too much you
Right.
know. So like, you know, with it being these times and everything, I kind of felt a way about like having the title be something with my name in it. Like it's not really about me, and like I was trying to think of like I knew I wanted to create like a beaded necklace and like have some type of like letters on there, and I was trying to think of like what's the perfect like letters to put on this necklace for this project. And like I was like somehow I got to uplift, and then they came back to like what the mission is for the entire project. And it's like I really hope this shit like lifts people up. I really hope that like, you know, the days where shit is like really tough during this time, like I hope people can like listen to this mix and like afterwards kind of have like a boost of optimism.
Right.
So that's kind of like first it started with the necklace. Like I'm gonna put Uplift on the necklace, and then they kind of like brought me to a title for the entire project. Like I really hope this project lifts people up.
That's fire, man. I think that people are gonna really enjoy it, and it's yeah, man. I'm happy with it. Like I'm proud of it. You know, I'm working it all day. I'll be rocking this like till whenever. You know,
Yeah.
so I don't know when.
I'm about to like now that the cat's out the bag and everything, I'm about to start rocking mine too. Like yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
It's like the I think it's gonna be like my last question for real, for real. You know, like R&D really got started off of like the reason why we started doing the images at the gallery match with the radio show. It started off with colors, and you know, when the colors that like what does green sound like, and what does blue sound like, and you know, anybody that knows you or knows your work, or has been following you, knows that you really like love the color orange, and you've been really like honing in on that for years. So I just want to like just ask like where did that come from, and what does that mean to you and to the Vango Jones brand, and how do you see that like growing with you over time?
Yeah, a lot of people like ask if orange is my favorite color, and like, all honesty, it's not my favorite color. I do love orange, but initially, like how my association with orange came about, I was working on a film a couple years ago, and creating like some merch for the film to like raise money to get the film made, and I really just wanted something that was like eye catching, like I didn't want to do like a highlighted yellow, but like something that's just like eye catching. Like when people look, like, they'll be like, "Oh shit, like that's bright. That's like
Yeah.
very vibrant." So I got I got stuck on like a safety orange um, shirt, which is like if you are familiar with like saying like construction workers, like you'll see like the lime green sometimes, but you also see like construction workers and like that safety orange, and it's like the reason that it's like safety orange and it's on construction workers is because with them doing that type of work, they want it to be visible. They want people to be able to see them so that they are in this construction site and they don't see a car coming, and the car sees them because they have like a such a vibrant shirt on. And that was like kind of the thought process with the merch for that film. It's like I wanted it to be so vibrant that people saw the shirt and they kind of like it had my website name on there. But they saw the shirt and they saw they like took an interest to the shirt and like maybe wanted to visit the website and kind of like learn more. So that's how the association really started, and I just like really just went crazy with it. Just, like really said, you know what, I'm just gonna like associate myself with the color orange. And like now it's kind of more so just like a game to me, or like a artistic game for me. It's like how can I take this? I'm like seeing so many orange items. I've like taken so many pictures with the color orange, or like how can I create something that is still like refreshing, like to me, like with the color orange that I've used so many times. Like how can I like play with the color orange to create something that still like sparks my interest? Because I've seen orange in the last couple of years, or like you've used orange in damn near everywhere that you can use it. So like I'm like always on the hunt now, like especially when I'm like out and about, like I'm on the hunt to like see new ways that I can like find the color orange in nature, or like in advertisements or whatever, like in a way that like excites me. It's kind of like a game that I'm playing with myself. And like one day, switch it up. One day it's gonna be blue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but it's just right now that's the game that I'm playing with myself, and the color of choice right now is orange.
That's hard. That's hard. Well, man, yo, I appreciate you taking this time, bro. Like, I'm really happy with this. I'm super excited.
Before we get off though, like let me just say thank you for the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, it's been a pleasure, and like I said before, this creating like another mix has been something that's been on my mind, like something that's been in my iPhone notes for years at this point. But I appreciate you putting the battery in my back to be like, yo, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Giving me the opportunity, and like what I'm saying, just as homies, and being in this predicament of the pandemic, like where we can't link to like anybody that knows us, like knows the rest of the squad. You know, annually we touching somewhere international. Like we in somebody's country. You know what I'm saying? We taking trips. So you know, to be like in a situation where this year, like it's kind of like everybody like spread apart. We're not able to do like our normal, you know, trip or whatever. It's been a pleasure, like, you know, tapping in with you weekly, working on this, you know, catching up, and then getting into the work. You know what I'm saying? Doing it week after week after week after week. So thank you, appreciate it, man. I can't wait for people to hear it.
Nah, man, I appreciate you saying all that, man. It's nothing like. This is just like, this is what it's about. Like, this is like the dream, like to be able to like, you know, work with your friends and then get something done. Like that's what this is about. This is what like Ghost Town about. Like,
this is the first of many, man. Like the process was too smooth. It was too much fun. Like this is.
Oh yeah. That's a whole nother conversation, bro. Cause like, if we can get this done like this at this level at this point, you know what I'm saying, where you know we still doing it like on our own independent and we far apart and we still got like our own lives and we got other stuff we got to take care of, then yeah, man, like I'm really proud. Like I said, bro, I'm proud, bro. Yo, man, good work, bro. Like I appreciate you, man. Love you, bro.
Likewise, love you too, my boy.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna talk to you soon, man, and I just appreciate it. You know, this is R&D. Vango Jones. It's a wrap. Thank you.